What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Chase, and today we're talking about I don't know if it's cancel culture but it is a form of cancel culture. It is a mob directing what they want to happen rather than just letting the voice of reason prevail, I guess. So what I'm talking about is a recent cover that Dynamite Comics was going to bring out, featuring a comicsgate personality named Cecil. Now, for those of you who don't know what comicsgate is, let me just real brief explanation. Comicsgate was a grassroots movement that spawned from the mainstream comics industry. There were a lot of people who disagreed with the direction mainstream comics were going, saying it was very woke, it was pushing agendas, political, socially and cultural, rather than focusing on actual good storytelling. So for example, they would rather push that, hey, Iceman is gay and this is his life as a gay man, rather than, I don't know, telling an adventure story about Iceman. So there was a lot of criticism towards that, and it started to be dubbed as Comicsgate. Everybody who criticized, creators for that, they kind of lumped them into this group called Comicsgate. And so from that, Comicsgate then began to be branded as a harassment campaign, when they were just saying, hey, why are you doing this? Your comic sales are tanking. Which they are. Don't let them fool you, they are. So why do you keep going down this road when nobody wants it? And those that do aren't buying your comics anyway. That's Comicsgate. And so from that, there was creators that went over to Comicsgate, and they began creating their own books for people to buy, under the banner that, hey, this is non-political, there's no agendas, this is just good old-fashioned adventure storytelling, you're gonna love it. And people really like it. Now, there are people in Comicsgate that, they aren't creators, but, they have big personalities and people like them. And Cecil is one of those. He has since become a creator. He actually has a book out now called Cash Grab, which you can go get on Indiegogo. People really like Cecil. He's a fan favorite, and Dynamite, Dynamite the company, they do a lot of business with a lot of creators. And one of their staples that they do is they'll find literally anybody who has a mild following, or anybody who they think they can make a deal with, and they can both earn some money, to do a cover for them. And they'll bring out, hey, there's this Vampirella comic that came out like 9 months ago. It's a number, and we want you to do a cover for it. It was the #1 back then, as in the #1 issue, not ranking, but it was the first issue. And so it happens all the time. Frank Cho does it. That Star Wars girl just did one for Vampirella, and they approached Cecil and said, hey, Cecil, you have a following. You want to do a cover for us? And Cecil said, yeah, sure, why not? And in about 2 days, it was almost at $10,000. It was like 9,000 something. And what happened was this mob, I wouldn't even say it's a mob. It's a small little segment of outrage that just raises their voice and they blast. And it makes it seem way bigger than it is. I think there's actually a Bible story where it's Sunday school, kids. I think it was Gideon. I'm just thinking of this right now. And I think what happened was, they had like 20 people, and they were supposed to go fight this army. And so what they did was they put lanterns on all their sheep. And they surrounded the army, so it looked huge, but it was just all sheep. There was nothing there. That's what this is. These SJWs, they make it seem like everybody's on board, and really it's all just sheeps with lanterns. It's nothing. There's nothing there. Honestly, it's very unfortunate, and I don't stand with it. Dynamite caved to the mob, and they came out with a statement. Nick Barucci, the CEO of Dynamite Comics, he came out and said, "In speaking with Cecil, neither one of us realized the cover would be so polarizing. We discussed and are not moving forward with the cover or the campaign." Boy, do I hate this. Because now that the SJWs have won this, like is always said, it's never enough. Because now, it's not about, oh, you did this with Cecil. Now it's, why on earth would you even think to do that with Cecil? So now they're not just canceling them because they attempted to do this cover. Now they're mad at Dynamite for even attempting, that you would even think to do business with that person. It's very petty. It's very scary, to be quite honest. It's very Orwellian. So I was giving this a lot of thought about companies that do this, and how cancel culture can affect and everything. And there's a good piece of advice out there that says literally says, don't apologize. Never apologize. Never enough. Here's better advice. It's stand by what you do. And the more I thought about this, I started thinking about another organization. And love them or hate them doesn't really matter. Their name is the National Rifle Association, the NRA for short. The NRA stands for one thing, and that is the Second Amendment. That you have the right to own a Derringer or an AR-15. It doesn't matter, because it's your God-given right to own a gun, the right to bear arms. That is what we stand for. So if there's something that happens that's very sad and guns were used, they do not give an inch. It's very sad. We all recognize that. But we are not going to give an inch for what we stand for. No, there will not be. We will not support any gun regulations. We will not support this or anything that affects or infringes even just a little bit on the Second Amendment. They shut it down. They will not go for it. And then if something positive happens, then hey, they point to that. Hey, there you go. Reason for the Second Amendment right there. And that's what companies like Dynamite needs to do. Because it's not like they just work with comicsgate creators. They work with everybody. Everybody deserves a shot. Hey, we're just making comics. Like it or hate it, doesn't matter. We're just making comics. And that's where we stand. We're a comic publishing company. The irony in all of this is that Cecil is attacked for being a part of a harassment campaign, and then the very people that attack him use a harassment campaign against Dynamite to make them bow and make them cancel this cover that was going to come out. That's the irony that's there. It's so palpable. And what's most Orwellian of all is that let's say you get a gig and some comic publisher wants you to do a cover or heck even a comic for them, or shoot any job, and it all that really matters is whether the mob says you can do it or not. That's a pretty scary thought. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please go down and like it. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. I know it's been a while since I posted content, but I say this a lot. I'm working on changing that. YouTube's definitely not my full-time thing, but I really like doing YouTube, and I will continue to keep doing videos. But yeah, so go down and like it. It really helps the channel out. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed, and if you didn't like this video, tell me why. If you're just like, Chase, you have no idea how I'm starting to I'm starting to get a The Godfather, Marlon Brando. You have no idea how whatever. if you disagree, leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear why. If you support this decision, I'm very curious as to why. Anyways, guys, as always, peace out.